Welcome to Master Your CRM. I'm Brandon Fisher. I'm so glad you're here. Let's master this together. What we're going to talk about today are smart campaigns. I get asked questions all the time about smart campaigns, and these are the things that I'm going to go over with you. We're going to talk about how to use a smart campaign, how to set it up, what are the main misconceptions about a smart campaign, and then also how to check and see if a smart campaign is running on a current lead. So some of the first questions I get are, how can I set up a smart campaign? How can I customize a smart campaign? Some of the misconceptions are, my smart campaigns are running, but I don't like how they sound. They don't sound like me. Or how do I check and see if one's running for somebody? I actually had a call the other day from my broker asking, how do I turn off a smart campaign for a contact? Because he got a message from the contact saying, please stop. I don't want any more communication. So we're going to go over those things today. First and foremost, how do you get to smart campaigns? Well, I'm here on the dashboard of BoldTrail. If I go over here to the marketing tab, it's this little megaphone, and click on it, you'll see you are brought to a bunch of icons here. Well, smack dab in the middle should be smart campaigns. Now your screen can expand and contract, so you might not see this right in the middle, but for me, that's where it's located. So I'm going to click on that and click Manage Smart Campaigns. What it's going to do is it's going to take me now into my smart campaigns where I can see my entire library. So in here, these are all the smart campaigns that I can turn off or on depending on the lead, and it will start a series of actions to help nurture that. So let me take a step back. What is a smart campaign? Well, a smart campaign is a series of actions that BoldTrail will take on your behalf to nurture a lead. So that could be something like a text message or an email. It could even be something along the lines of changing the hashtag or the lead status. And this is where smart campaigns can be very cool. So what are we looking at here? Well, in the top left-hand corner, you'll see your name. And that tells the system who these smart campaigns are designed for. If you are a team admin or a company admin, you can click this drop down and you can choose the team. So you can have smart campaigns running just for your team, or you can have smart campaigns running just for your company. You can also see other agents here. So if you are a part of a team or a company, you can help those agents with their smart campaigns as well. But I'm going to leave it under my name for now. Right below my name, you'll see My Campaigns, which is your library that has all of your current built out smart campaign. Next to that is System Library, and your System Library is actually a space that Inside Real Estate has given you for other smart campaigns that you can use to set up for different reasons or different lead sources. And all you have to do there is just click Add to Library if you like one of those pre-built smart campaigns. Also, templates. So templates is going to be where you can build out your actions before you add them to your smart campaign. So let's say, for example, you wanted to build an email or a text or an action or a webhook to pull information from a different website. You can do all of that within your template section. Now, the template section is also really neat because this is where your templates will lie for your emails or mass emails or texting individual leads on a case-by-case basis. So you can build templates out here that will affect the entire system, not just smart campaigns. And if you wanted to do that, you can go over here to the right where it says Add Template. You can choose the type of template that you want to create. Now, something really cool about smart campaigns that Inside Real Estate recently released is that you no longer have to create the template and then add it to the campaign. When you're building a smart campaign from scratch, it will automatically add your templates for you. So that's really cool. Now, let's go back to My Campaigns right here in the top left-hand corner and take a look at this. So I have built out a ton of campaigns for myself. There are also default campaigns in here. So on the left-hand side, that's where the campaign name is going to live. And then you'll see that it's blue. It's a little bit different than all these other texts, right? So this, if you click on it, will take you into the campaign itself to view all of the action in there and make edits. The campaign description is right here. And so this is, if you look at a default campaign, it's a default for new lead buyer. That is essentially telling you what this campaign is designed to do or who it's designed for. Then you'll see starts when, and these are the triggers that will turn on and run these campaigns once a lead comes into your BoldTrail account. who it's designed for. Is it designed for buyers, sellers, renters, agents, everyone? If you see all, that means everyone. And then channels, this is going to be the types of actions that are in your campaign. For example, this one says email and text. So there are email and text actions in this campaign. Next to that, touches. I wish this said actions, but touches means actions. How many actions are in your smart campaign? Always run. This is mainly for admins, but always run will allow it to add the campaign, even if there are multiple campaigns on a contact. So for example, you might have a contact that has a holiday campaign, a new lead buyer campaign, and maybe you do a quarterly newsletter. So always run allows it to run in conjunction with other smart campaigns. Status. This is a big one. Status means, is it on or off, right? Blue means on, white means off. And then scope. Who is this campaign designed for? Who created it? So was it created by your company or your team, or did you create it? And that would say user right here. Now, really quickly, one of the biggest questions I get is, hey, I guess this is rather a statement, but it's also a question. Someone will say to me, I want to upload my contacts, but I don't want it to reach out to any of those contacts right away. So the first thing that I would suggest to do is to turn off all of your smart campaigns before you upload your contacts into BoldTrail. That way you're not getting any smart campaigns added to those contacts and then communication sent to them before you know what that communication is. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to set up your smart campaigns first with the mindset that you're going to add your campaigns in here. And when you do, those smart campaigns will start to run and nurture contacts as soon as you've added them into the system, or as soon as you started doing some of those ad runs on like Facebook or Google or wherever you're doing your advertising, right? So there's two ways to handle that. Now, most of you'll want to turn these off before you add your contacts in. That way you are ensuring no communication is going out on your behalf or unbeknownst to you. Okay. So you just come into the smart campaigns and disable these. Now, a way I like to explain these to agents is a smart campaign is like a book. So right now we are in the My Campaigns section, and these are all of my books. Right. So what we're looking at is essentially the book title on the left-hand side, the description of the book, how many chapters there are, and what kind of chapters there are. So I like to equate smart campaigns to books like that. Now, if I click on one, I'm just going to do the most popular one, default new lead buyer campaign. If I click on it, you'll see it's going to take me right into the campaign. Okay, so what are we looking at now? So we have opened the book or opened the campaign. And the top left, you're going to see all those details that we saw on that first screen. So this is all the title information of the book. In the middle is the option to clone it and make your actions, change what it says, so on and so forth. And then campaign history, how many people, since this is a default one, you'll see all these people's names here, but how many actions have been taken within this campaign. Down the center, you're going to see all of your campaign actions. So the time, the method, the name, the from, and the to, and then this over to the right, this view up. So what does all that mean? Well, the time. So when you see the time, you'll see it says immediately, minute 7, day 1, day 3, so on and so forth. And that is the time signature in which these actions are going to take place for your leads, right? So if a lead comes into your website, immediately the system is going to set a task. And it's going to send a text for you to send the new lead a text message. It's also going to immediately call you, and tells you right here, call and leave a voicemail. This is a default campaign, right? So a lot of these are set up by BoldTrail and are pretty tried and true methods to nurturing your leads. Next is going to be from. So the system to the agent, from the agent to the contact, so on and so forth. So that's pretty straightforward. So what we're looking at here is the time, the action, which is also called method, the name of that action, and then who it's from and who it's to. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward and easy to understand. All right, let's go into an action and see what that looks like. So for example, minute 7 after the new lead buyer comes in, going to send out a text message and it's going to say buyer immediate text. So you know what that template is. And then from the agent to the contact. If I click view here on the right-hand side, it's going to allow me to view what this action says. So we already know what the name is because that's what shows here. But this says, hi, thanks for requesting property information on our site. Just curious, are you actively searching for a property or just browsing right now? And then you're going to see this funny little bracket at the end. This bracket right here, let me zoom in a little bit. This bracket right here is actually what's called a merge tag. Now, merge tags are very cool because this will allow you to customize your templates and what it says when it goes out. So you can customize your text messages. You can customize your emails to say whatever's in this bracket right here, and it says agent first name. So what it's going to do is it's going to actually send out this nice text, and then it's going to apply your agent first name in that bracket. Okay. So this is cool because you can put this merge tag at the beginning. Instead of saying hi, you could say hi merge tag lead first name, and it would put in, let's say the lead's first name is Bob. It would say, hi Bob, thanks for requesting property info on our site, so on and so forth. And then it would say your name at the end. Now what that means is anytime you get a new lead, it's going to automatically populate with that lead's name in that text message to make it very unique and customized to that person. Okay. So I think that's really cool because it makes your text and your emails very personable when the lead comes in. And there are hundreds of different kinds of merge tags you can use. But anyway, so that's what a text message looks like. And then let's take a look at an email. So down here, it says day 3, second buyer email. You can see it says email right here from the agent to the contact. If I click on view, now here's a plain text email and it says, hey, if it's helpful, I'd be more than willing to walk through a couple of properties with you. I can also connect you to a recommended lender who can answer mortgage questions. Let me know. No pressure either way. You'll notice that this one doesn't have a merge tag. So this is just a plain text email that goes out. It's not very exciting. It doesn't look super great, but you know what? In this world nowadays, imperfect communication is better than no communication at all. So this works for a default. Now, when you're creating your own campaign, it's really important that you set up these emails to look a little bit better than that, and also using merge tags. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to create your own campaign. So if I go back to my campaigns, so now we're back into that library that we were talking about of all your campaigns. Up here in the top right-hand corner, I can click add campaign. So I click that and it's going to give me a series of actions here. It's going to say, hey, who is this campaign designed for? I'm just going to do it for me because that's what we're doing right now. But if you were a team admin or a company admin, you could change this and choose that entity. Now, this is where you're going to set up the triggers. Okay. So you want to think with the end in mind. Where are these leads coming from? What kind of communication do I want to send to these leads? And what is the time signature in which I want to nurture my leads? Do I want to nurture them for 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, a year, 5 years, whatever? All of that up here when you're building out your campaign. What we're doing is we're designing the book. Okay. I like to use that book and library analogy a lot when we're talking about smart campaigns. So you can do when the lead is, and you can select a lead source. You can select a website, entity, Facebook, all of that stuff. Or you can say, hey, when the contact is transferred to me from my company or team admin, I want to have this campaign started. Or let's say you guys have watched my video on hashtag management and setting up squeeze pages and landing pages, and you applied a hashtag to a squeeze page that you put out on Facebook. So you can set the hashtag to start the smart campaign. For example, hot leads, right? Or you can do an example like Nashville. So a campaign can trigger via a hashtag, which is great. You can do when the deal is created, you can do a specific date occurs. And this is very cool for setting up monthly newsletters or quarterly newsletters. You can do a specific date-based campaign, or you can do advanced triggers. Advanced triggers is going to allow you to select other contact real details. Those are going to be assigned to a lender, the deal type, the form submission, the hashtag, the source, the system source, the status of the lead. So is the lead new? Is it a active lead? So there's a lot of really interesting things you can do. And it is different types of logic based on the lead. So is one of them, is not, is one of them deal type, is only this hashtag, it must be this hashtag, is not this hashtag. So you can really customize your advanced triggers. Always run, we talked about that. And if you are unsure about what it says, you can hover over this little I. It will re-explain what that means. Locked and not locked. So this is going to mainly be no for most of you. But if you're, again, a company admin or a team admin and you want to create a campaign for your agents and you want that campaign to be locked so they can't edit it, you can hit yes here and then they won't be able to make edits to it. Next, we'll just do lead as new for now. We'll select source as agent website. Next, we're going to choose who this campaign is designed for. Buyers, sellers, renters, vendors. That's an interesting one. Agents. That's also an interesting one, or everybody. So right now we're just going to do buyers, and then you're going to give the campaign a name. So we're going to call this new lead buyer test. And then you're going to give it a description. Now the description can be a space bar, so you don't want to write one, or it could be as detailed as you want. But typically what we do, or what I do, is I just copy the campaign name and I put it in the campaign description because those should typically coincide. Then you hit next. And it's going to have you review what you just set up to make sure that looks good. And then you click finished. So now we have basically added a book to our library, but the book doesn't have any pages yet. Okay, so the pages are going to be all those actions that we talked about. And where did that campaign that I just created? Well, most of the time it's going to be either towards the bottom or it's going to be in alphabetical order, which it is right here. New lead buyer test, which I created. And you'll notice it's not on by default. So that's because there's also no actions in here. You'll see that it says 0 and the, what do we call it again? Channels are going to be A, meaning there are no channels or no actions in here. So now let's start adding some actions. Click into it and open the book. And now you can see it's still turned off. You can clone it. You can share this campaign. So if you've built out a really beautiful campaign, you can click this share option here. And what it will do is it actually creates a sharing token right here in the top left-hand side. You can copy that and email it to somebody, text somebody, and what they can do is when they come into your smart campaigns, they can click on this little green option here on the right-hand side next to add campaign. And if they click on that, they can put that key in and then hit enter, and it will copy the campaign over to their library and allow them to clone it and make their own changes and use it however they see fit. I think that's a really cool thing about smart campaigns. It creates this openness and this sharing opportunity for all of us to capitalize on our knowledge and share knowledge with each other. So let's go back to that campaign that I created. So it's over here, new lead buyer test. And again, you'll see down here at the bottom, there are no results, meaning there are no actions in here. So the first thing we might want to do is click over here and add actions. Let's go over what some of these are. So you have email, pretty straightforward. You can do a plain text email, or you could do a more robust email, which is really cool. We'll talk about that. Text message and SMS. Task. So a task would be, hey, follow up with this person in 3 days. Hey, follow up with this person in 30 days. And those are tasks that you set for yourself. Call. So you can schedule a call and the system will call you on your phone and try and connect you. You can add hashtags to your leads. So let's say at the end of a campaign, you want to say campaign completed or run next campaign, and campaigns can trigger off hashtags. So you can have campaigns spilling onto each other and essentially have an indefinite long campaign running. Remove tags, right? Hey, I want to remove this hashtag from the lead. You can change the lead statuses. So that's another thing that's really cool is you can, instead of triggering campaigns on hashtags, you can trigger campaigns on lead statuses, and the statuses can change the campaigns. So as somebody moves through the lead pipeline from new lead to active lead to client to under contract to closed, you can have different statuses trigger different campaigns. Webhook, what this does is it allows you to pull information from other websites or send people to other websites. Zapier, this is a third-party connection key. This is very cool. You can, again, trigger different things to happen with Zapier. For example, let's say after a client has closed, you want BoldTrail to send that client a thank you, a handwritten thank you card. You can do that, or send them flowers or send them candy or whatever. You can do all of that through Zapier. Zapier does cost money. It's a third-party company, but this allows you to do that. And then also Core Video. Core Video is very cool. It allows you to record personalized messages and send those through smart campaigns. So instead of sending a plain text or a plain email, whatever, you can send a video right away, which is really cool. That also costs extra. It's through BombBomb though, which is really nice. All right, so the first thing we want to do is, let's say we're going to send out a text message. So click text, and it's going to bring out the text builder right here. And you don't have to worry about the template name, but if you do have pre-built templates, you can select what those are. So like this one says just checking in, and you'll notice that it populates automatically, but we don't want to use that one. We want to just create our own. So we'll say, hey, and then you can use the little bracket, which is not the square bracket, but it's the same key as the square bracket. So if you hit shift and put that in, you'll notice that when I do that, it pops up all these merge tags here. So you can put in the merge tag. So I'm just going to lead's first name. You'll notice the most popular at the top. So boom, hey, lead first name. So let's say Bob in this case. So Bob comes in, going to say, hey, Bob. Thanks for checking listings on my site, on my website. And you could even put a bracket in there and put your website, which could be really cool. So we do come down here and look for agent and look for agent website. That's office website. Agent website. Thanks for checking out my website. Boom. It will plug your website URL in there. You can say, did you find any houses you like? Something simple like that. And then you can change the template name to website first text or something like that. And you can even add with my website. And then what you'll do after that is put the name. So again, what I typically do is I copy the template name and I put that in there because this is the action name. So this is what you'll see as the chapter title when you're looking at all your actions. You'll say who it's from. So agent to contact. You can do lender to contact, system to agent. There are a few different combinations there. And then you'll notice the time signatures down here. So you can run this immediately. So as soon as the lead comes in, it's going to send this text message out. Or you can specify, hey, after this many hours or days, I want to send this text message out. So minutes, we'll do 1 minute, right? Hit save, and now you'll give it a second, but it will populate. And now we've added our first to our smart campaign. The next thing we'll do is we'll add an email. So when it comes to emails, there are 2 different types of emails you can do. It works exactly the same way as text messages when you build the plain text email. Okay. So you can choose the heading types as far as how your fonts look, bold, italicized, indentations. You can even do source code, which is very cool because if you have a third-party source like MailChimp or something like that, and those email templates look really good, you can plug in the code in here and it will populate and look just like it does on one of those email services, which is very cool. This little sun next to this is actually where your merge tags are now. So instead of having to add that bracket each time, this gives you a list of options to choose from. You can add links in here as well. You can add columns like you would in a spreadsheet, change the font. You can add bullet points and all kinds of stuff, right? So that's a plain text email. It looks just like maybe your email builder does in Outlook or Gmail. You're going to put a subject at the top as well. So what do you want your subject to be? And then your template name, and then all of the action settings over here on the right. Okay. Now there's another option here we're going to talk about really quickly, and that's your advanced editor. So if you click on advanced editor right here, this is going to take you into a more what you call a WYSIWYG editor. What is what you get editor. And this might look familiar to some of you if you've built out email templates before, but essentially in the left-hand side, this is where your email is going to live. So what you'll see here on the right-hand side are all the different kinds of content you might want to add to your email. So you can add rows here, and these rows are blocks that like this blue block here. And then the block is where you're going to add the content into. The settings are going to be the content area width. How big do you want your email to look? Do you want your content to align to the left or to the center? Do you want to change the background color of your email? Right? or the block that you're in. What do you want your default font to be? How do you want your links to look as far as the link color goes? And then the content area background. So a lot of cool stuff that you can make adjustments with in there. So you'll notice that there's this blue block at the top, and that is your first block when you're building out a advanced email. And for most of the emails that I build for my clients who use my setup with Master Your CRM, what I like to do is I like to put an image in here as a title image at the top, just to show who this is from. So what you can do is you can click on this image and drag it. So you'll see there's these blue lines here, drag down at the bottom or drag at the top of the block. You'll also notice that I can add it to the background. So I can have an image within it, an image within an image if I wanted to. So I'll just drag it here. I'm going to drag it to the top. And I can click browse and then choose from all the images that I've uploaded. I can upload images by going up here. I have to select my folder first. So you select your folder. This one's going to make me choose that one. I'll go into it by clicking on the file. And then look, here's one that I built. That's an image. So I can insert that. And there's the image at the top of my email, right? So that's what somebody would see if they opened this email. Now, I can also adjust this. So now that I've added this, you'll see there are these options within that block. If I click out of that block, it will go away. But for now, like I can align this to the left, I can align this to the center. I can add actions. So if this is a link I want to put in here, I can also change the padding of it. So I can make it taller towards the top. So play with the padding. It allows you to recenter the image if you want. Auto width is going to just fill the page with that image. I can turn that off and scale it if I want. So maybe it was too big. I want it to be a little smaller. Also full width on mobile, you can choose. So if somebody's looking at this on their mobile site, it would fill the screen on their mobile device. Okay, so now we have a header. I can now add, I like to do this divider here. I think it's nice. Puts a little line there underneath it. And we want to add text to this. So how do we do that? Well, there are some areas in here that say text right here in the bottom. So all I can do now is I can drag it here below that option, right below that little divider, and it's going to put in a text box there. And you'll see it's going to provide you with all these different text options. Merge tags is one of them, which is really cool. So you can start typing your email body. Okay, that's one way to do it. The other way you can do it is doing rows. So if I drag a row over here, and let's say I want to put a row, actually, I'm going to use this one with the little extra square. So this row is going to show you how these blocks populate. So let's say at the top, I wanted to add 3 images of homes. I can drag that. And let's just take an example there. So now you're going to see there's 3 upload options here. And if I click on content, I can drag an image, boom, image. Now I can add 3 images to this email. And one of the things that's really neat about BoldTrail is it gives you free images. So you can see up here at the top where it says search free photos. Type in that. It uses these 2 companies to find it. I'll just type in house, and there are all these house options. I'll do this one and I'll insert it. So now look, there's a house image. I can choose this and then the middle option and add another photo in there. Let's say I want to do this open house one as the middle, right? Open house, because that's what we're going to talk about in this email. And then let's say the third one is this one. Now you can also size this. Look, we talked about earlier. So there, now it's resized to match the size of the other ones. You might want to align it to the right or center. And that's how you add images to your email to make it look a little bit nicer than just a plain text email. Okay, so now let's add text to the body. So again, I'm going to drag this option here down to the bottom, and I'm going to fill it with content for text. And now you can type out your email. Thank you, or thanks for opening my email. You can also add a merge tag in here, right? So merge tag, and you can put in first name, right? Or merge tag. Maybe this is a lender site URLs as a link, and then you can plug in the lender right there if you wanted, so on and so forth. So there's tons of merge tags you can do. So that's how you're going to build out your advanced email instead of just sending out a plain text one. Cool. All right. Cancel. So that's how campaigns work. That's how smart campaigns work. Once you've built out all of your options, all of your actions, you're going to enable it by turning this option on up here. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to run this? You hit yes. And then boom, you've built your own first custom campaign. Now, the next thing we're going to take a look at is how to find contacts that have a campaign running. So if I go over here to the top right under contacts, and I can now search for contacts. There's a search option here. I'm going to click on my contacts, and then you can scroll through these options here. Contact details down here at the bottom is going to show you, hey, I want to look for contacts that have a rating, a hashtag, are shared with me. Who are they? Buyer, seller, renter, prospect. But what we want to look for actually is going to be the one that says does not have running campaign or contacts with active campaigns. And I can search for any contacts that have a campaign that's in my campaign library. Or let's say I want to add contacts or let's say I want to add campaigns to contacts who don't have a running campaign. I can choose this and it will find all of my contacts that don't have a campaign attached to them. Okay, so that's how you use your smart filters. These are the best way to sort your contacts and look through them all, is through the search options on the left. Now let's take a look at a contact here. I have this test lead at the bottom. If I click on that, it's going to take me into the contact card itself. And this is a test lead that I've created. On the left-hand side, you'll see the lead information. I have broken down all this stuff on a video that I created, the first 10 things to know and set up in BoldTrail. Go watch that video. On the right-hand side here, you'll see search alerts, active campaigns, market reports, all this stuff. On the right-hand side is where you'll notice if a lead has a smart campaign on or not. And let's say I manually added this contact and I want to come in here and add a campaign. I just click under active campaigns, click add, and then it will allow me to choose the campaign that I want to assign. So I just choose that and hit add. You'll also notice that this changed a little bit, and this actually shows you today's new tasks reminders based on the campaign. So this is actually telling me I have a task now. I need to call this lead and leave a voicemail. Now, if I want to pause this, I can just click pause and it will stop the campaign from running until I hit resume. It's not going to remove it. It's just going to pause it. If I want to remove the campaign, I just click this little trash can and boom, now I have removed a campaign. Thank you guys for joining me today. Those are smart campaigns. It's how to build a smart campaign, how to find if a lead has a campaign built on it, how to add actions to your campaigns, what they are, how to share them. This definitely touches on 99% of the questions I get from agents when it comes to smart campaigns. Be sure to look out for a couple of the other videos that I've added, the 10 things to set up and do in BoldTrail, website settings, how to set up your website. I have a 3-part series on that. Be sure to subscribe, and if you need help with BoldTrail and you'd like me to help customize your BoldTrail, help you set up your website, help you learn how to use this, please send me a message or look in the description, and I have a link to my calendar that you can schedule a call with me. I would be so honored to help you with your BoldTrail. Thanks so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day.